Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the show, written and produced by the bald-headed black man, new sport, Victor Allen's own Neil Urban look. And here's the man the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. Here's Vic! Tricky Vic! Victor! Yeah! Negro!
Just for that, I'm not switching the camera on me. Tricky big Negro. I can't believe this all day long. All right, you guys. Like I said, it's sports. We'll call it sports with a Z. Okay. Think I was going to lead with the NBA Finals.
It's a mouthful, huh?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
What we going to do? That's right.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Guess, you know, I'm sorry. He's back. He's back.
Yay!
Tebow's back. When he's back, all is well with the world. He shall too. Bless you. Okay, so let me just say, here we go now. You know, football is still a ways off, man. And Tebow's going over there to Patriot country.
Yeah!
Now, I already know everybody's doing the same thing they did before. They said, if Belichick can't make it happen, no one can. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco at the time prior to that, went through this and it didn't work. I think the IQ for Tebow's right there, and I think he'll find a way. But that's not what I'm going to go to. That's the obvious stuff.
Okay, all right.
Here's where I'm going to. You guys got to realize who's the big pimp in the land here right now. When you look at that picture right there, you see Brady, right? Now, notice they took the picture of Tebow when he was with Denver. His face is towards the main view, while you see Brady's back. My question is really to myself. Brady's the man. He's the quarterback. He's the one that runs the whole ship. If you can't keep up with his speed, it doesn't work. But how long can those Bostonians sit there and go, will he play? Will he won't? Will he play a hybrid position between running back and tight end? The part that I'm saying here is that Brady may have the leadership, but popularity is going to Tebow even if he doesn't play. And Brady never takes a second fiddle. All day. Oh, okay, just go look at those. Watch.
Well, that is what everybody's concern is. Everybody's concern is that was. But let me remind you, this is why. First of all, I'm so impressed that Belichick wanted him, because that means in his mind scheme he can see a place for him. But you know, he is the man somehow that no matter when you controversial, you go to New England, all of a sudden you don't hear nothing. I mean, think of Vic, you know, he's got at least 4 or 5 of them I can think of right in the last years. Even when they go there, it's quiet. Even Chad, he went there, quiet.
A lot of them go there in a different role, but, okay, they took on different players, and then they had to fit in, and I understand that. And Chad Ochocinco, as is self-evident, he already has a history. It's like Steven Jackson being at the San Antonio Spurs once upon a time. You go, Steven, is it your mind or is it the team? Well, it's Steven's mind, and his mind said, I got to go. Exit Popovich. He had to do that. Well, this is a team player. This guy's a team player. That's not the part I'm looking at. The part is, Brady's never been second fiddle. And here's the part that I'm saying. Everybody got a taste of Tebow in Denver. And I got another question. You can ponder on this. Did they not maximize Tim Tebow in New York? Did everybody sit there? Now watch this. Let me say this.
They did nothing in New York.
Nobody ever saw. Everybody saw Mark Sanchez losing his job to Tim Tebow. Didn't even get close. Now, if he can't win there in New York with Mark Sanchez, what is he supposed to do in New England? What role is he going to play?
He's going to play the role he could have played in New York, which he should have played, except he was in an undisciplined ship that sails itself. Now he's on a disciplined ship where they can use him appropriately, and I don't think there's any controversy. I think Tim Tebow has shown it's the media likes to thrust in and make those situations more He's already shown he knows where his role is. I think that I wouldn't be surprised, to tell you the truth, if they actually became really good friends. I wouldn't be surprised at all, and I expect that you're going to see some wonderful shifting and change up of things on third downs, and that's what we're looking for.
I think the question that keeps hitting me is, will he have more snaps at quarterback in New England than he did with New York?
Totally. He didn't get almost none in New York, and let's put it like this. We know if Belichick brought him in, he's going to use him for something. It may not be a whole lot of it, because remember, on third down with a solid team, you want Brady in there, right? You don't want them to switch to Tim, except for situations as a surprise or a change-up, because you still have a wonderful quarterback there ready to handle that situation. So, you know what? I must admit, we will see. I'm excited.
The part that gets me is they know third-string quarterbacks don't get no PT time. You know, they already got a backup quarterback. So in order to bring him in, they're going to bring him in another role. And you have to think about it. He's not going to take time from from Brady. And unless there's a absolute blowout, a real blowout, and they don't want to cause controversy with the number 2 quarterback, and I can't remember his name. They can't skip over and do that same thing they did in Denver. That caused a lot. And the former coach at Denver, when he was at Denver, is the assistant coach in New England. So somewhere along the way, this works because he's worked with him before. My thing is, he's going to come in some unique calls, and I'm not sure. I'm with you, Mario. I think he's going to have more quarterback snaps. And let me ask you this, and just for this question, is Tebow good and better for football as a player, or is he non-essential if he doesn't play at all? What do you think?
No, I think these kinds of things are good for the game. I think they represent change and challenge and force people to rethink. We've talked about in the past how coaching does go through fads.
Right.
Where everybody wants to do the same kind of thing. Everybody does the West Coast offense. Everybody does this. So they go through fads. And it just goes to show you sometimes you can just get back to other things. No, I'm with you, Vic. I just don't expect a big change or anything, because remember, like you said, it's still the fact that in those situations you still have Brady, and that most of the time is going to be a better choice against anybody than even a trick play.
Yeah.
But you know, Belichick is known
Right.
for having some up his sleeve almost every game.
It's not because they're looking for the future quarterback to be
Right.
Tim Tebow. So he obviously, what he's realized, his stock went down to the part. And a former player of his, and I can't remember his name, said this is his last best chance. May not be his last chance, but his last best chance. So thumbs up for what they call perseverance. He stuck with the game. He believed, but he's probably getting minimal pay. It's a non-guaranteed contract, so he's just going to have to perform. And I'm pretty sure they're going to take care of him, because his merchandising when he plays will be the money he makes.
He'll make plenty of money.
Right. All right, you guys, going to go to the number 2 subject. This one I love. I always like to cover prep, stories. A lot of times you don't know about them, but sometimes you're going to know about it when there's a choice between powerhouse football teams. And when you say Florida State versus USC, then you got to think of that wonderful school, Miami. Booker T. Washington's top prep star, linebacker Matthew Thomas, signing day goes with Seminoles, wants USC. Now, the story in short, just so you know, when you look at this picture, Mama is to the left with the scarf around her head. Daddy is to the right with the hoodie. Now, don't go running in the terminology with the hoodie. Okay, leave it alone. Bottom line is, Mom is basically saying, according to Pops, that Matthew Thomas' mother said on signing day that she would not sign paperwork for him to attend USC, but would for the Seminoles. Well, asked why Matthew wants to attend USC and not Florida State, his father said on signing day he didn't want to hurt his mom. So the son
should be wanting to get away from her.
Right. So here's the part. And see, this is a question. Before we get to USC versus Florida State, it's not Pops against Mom. There's nothing in this that says it's Pops. But Mom is set on Florida State. Is this what they call, I need my boy close to me? Is it, I couldn't find anything that she's a alumni of Florida State. What do you think it is, Mario?
It certainly may be that. I know one thing. This would be the beginning of starting to make some decisions for yourself.
Right.
So, unfortunately, Mama, I'm not with you on this. It's not your choice to make.
It is hard. Think about what he's done. If he carried on through this, he would probably be unhappy. But as most kids go through, when they get to the college environment, it could change your mind because it's your first experience.
Yeah, because the first fine-ass cutie pie makes you kind of put Mom a little bit on the back burner.
Right.
You go like, hey, Mom, but I'm going with...
I'm going with right.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we know that at this point, Mom knows that this is the case, Now, I know this. Some of you guys are parents. And he's, 18? Does he have the right? And if he does, understand what he's going to give up. If Florida State says, okay, we'll let you go because there was a signing day intent, no problem. He can go. It's just between the parents, right? That's it. But if they don't and he decides just to leave, he has to give up 1 year of playing. He only gets 3 years and not 4. And he says he is willing, because of the NCAA, the rules far as its governing signing, when you do that, just arbitrarily sign and leave, they actually can enforce that and say, hey, you have to sit out a year before you go play.
Yeah, it's their game.
It's their game. And where everybody's complaining because it's their game.
Because it's fixed.
We understand. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think they're going, you don't do that with us at the last moment. Getting to my point here, should he go because his heart says USC and take the year hit?
He should he shouldn't take the year hit. I don't know about all that.
Well, if it comes to that. In other words, he decides to leave regardless of what Florida State says okay. Yeah. Should he go?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a hard one. It's a hard one.
Shouldn't have signed it, buddy. No. Shouldn't have signed it. Should have told mom no.
Right.
And made your own decision.
I know.
And really, mom, you should know better.
I agree. I absolutely.
You should actually know better.
Oh my goodness, holding him hostage to that team. That's not how.
And by the way, is Florida State in Tallahassee? Where's Florida State?
I think it's Tallahassee. I can't remember.
And PMC is in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I don't want to flip it between Florida Gators and Florida State.
I know because you guys. See, I don't know about you all, but I've traveled. I was born in Florida.
Right.
I've traveled extensively through Florida.
Right.
Have family in Florida. Tallahassee ain't really happening.
See, you're just going to go there anyway.
I don't know.
Right. Let me just say.
I'm just saying. First of all, Florida. I love my family, too. I do. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Ain't nobody moving that way.
Right. And it doesn't.
Here, unless you try to save some money.
Let's just say it's not in Tallahassee and it's somewhere else. Are you about to? I see. That's what I'm saying. Are you going
where?
Well, look, Florida's not a bad place. It's a good place, isn't it?
It has parts. It's like Texas.
Okay.
You better watch yourself.
Okay.
You can end up missing.
All right.
And the police will be involved.
Okay. Now, here's the tipping scale, you guys, if you guys follow this or not. USC is known for linebacker transition to pros.
That's right.
You come to it's probably better than 50-50. That when you come out of that machine at USC as a linebacker, you're going not only just going to the pros, you're going to be effectual and it's going to be an impact player. He already says the tradition. Now, this is the question, you guys. Let's just say it's on him. Linebacker central. Now, Florida State has the athletes. There's more speed. They're more, swift on their feet, and they're physical. Yeah, they're physical. USC is just, it's the traditional. We play the USC way, the Trojan way, the linebacker, double linebacker. You can call them inside, outside. What do you call it? If he's going to a school that has a reputation, 3 years is worth it, isn't it?
Well, man.
I'm saying.
You know what? That's why you got to make these decisions right the first time. Or be careful, even though we would say yes, at this stage, I think that you should be able to prosper in both of those situations. Florida State is a really good program, well-recognized program. Perennially ranked, right? I mean, they're ranked pretty much every year somewhere. They're not, they certainly are solid.
Right.
And he's from Florida, so he's used to that scorching humidity, heat.
That's right. So look, this is a thumbs up. Hopefully, the Florida State doesn't want the bad press. Moms, who's not around at this time because I think she's in Europe, hopefully will see that the swarm around this kid is to let him make his choice. I'm voting for you, man. Let's do it, man. I think you go to the Trojan way. Oh, that didn't sound right, did it? The Trojan way, okay.
Put a helmet on that soldier.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done on that one. Now it's time to do our handicap, and you guys know how it goes because we're going to be sitting around watching this game. It's the Spurs versus San Antonio, and just so you guys know this, the record on this is ridiculous. They say it's about 12-1. Whatever NBA team wins the third game, they say 12-1 ratio that they go on to win the NBA championship. Is this the turning point game with the history, Mario, of the 12 and one record for NBA teams winning the third game.
It could be. And I have to remind people that even though also the winner of the first game has won in over 70% of games, guess what team is the team to have broken that rule? The
Miami Heat when they did come back.
They're the exact team
right.
that goes against those statistics.
Right.
But on having said that, I'm going to be rooting tonight, and I'm going to be supporting tonight the San Antonio Spurs.
Is there
even though here you have the Spurs versus at San Antonio.
Right, I know.
So I guess they are against themselves tonight, which is part of the story.
I know.
Which is the story.
You caught it.
Will they do it? I know. My thing is they need Manu Ginobili to do certain things. They need Tony Parker to do what he does.
Right.
These games are incredibly close. The competition is incredibly stiff. But I'm going to be going with the Spurs tonight, Jake.
This one is a good one because Miami, it raises its level. It's the best record on the road, and they tend to have another gear on defense. And if they use that same recipe on defense, everybody's expecting them to do what they did in Miami in Game 2. But I'm not expecting the rest of the team to hit all their outside shots like they did. I'm sorry, on another home court. The difference with San Antonio, this is not Indiana. Okay, this is a little bit different. They can score. They can score along with you, and they are more precise in their game and how they play. I just don't see it. I'm trying to see that Miami's going to step up. I think there's going to be some confliction there. LeBron's going, I had a terrible game, but man, we blew them out by 20 points. Do I go back to that recipe, ball distribution, let them hit their shots, or do I try to dominate and go back to that recipe, which it hasn't worked because he hasn't done it yet with San Antonio Spurs? I'm going San Antonio in Game 3. I'm with you, man.
And you know what? They can try it, Vic. And I will say this, too. The pace of the first game was so different. The last game was so different than the pace of the other game.
Right.
That it was so amazing. Here they came out moving the slow, all this half-court game, and you would have thought that would have favored San Antonio more. It's amazing that it really didn't. It really didn't at all, and it was a way slowed down game. So none of this has been what we kind of expected.
True.
You know, when they run, it was not what you thought.
No.
And then when they didn't run, it wasn't what you thought.
That's right.
Because at times, the Spurs outrun them.
Right.
And then at other times, the Heat beats them on the half court.
Right. and the players who are missing in this, because I don't think either team has played their best ball. Manu hasn't been.
No.
Manu. And Shane Battier. I mean, you're talking about a disappearing act from a guy who's the first off the bench as far as hitting threes. It's gone
his
way
defense
down.
is good, but his scoring.
But he hasn't had no play time.
I know, and you know Mike Miller. It's that trade off. He shoots the basket just out. Blows it.
Yeah,
out.
they got Allen, Miller, Coles. They got the best group with combination of starting Battier and 3-point shots. Mm-hmm. They live off of that. Yeah, they know that LeBron is going. He is the assist man. He is the point guard without playing point. He's the ball distributor because he brings all the attention to him. But when they collapse on LeBron and says he's not, I don't care what the plan is. I know they're not going to say let him go to the basket at will and score. They're going to keep that out and say give that ball up and take the lower percentage shot, the outside shot. But for Miami, that's a high percentage because they're built around hitting those threes as well. I just think you live by the three and you can die by the three. All right, so I'm picking the same way. So
stop those threes, Norman.
Right, and PMC, you're right. If they do shut down Tony Parker, I don't see it happening unless you put somebody like LeBron on Tony Parker, and they don't want to exhaust LeBron. They're not going to have him running around chasing.
Tony Parker is a non-stop whirling dervish.
No,
he does not stop running.
No, you're going to waste your time on you can't do that.
Yeah,
nobody
I look
can.
At Dwayne Wade getting tired chasing him around.
Right.
Everybody gets tired chasing him around.
And you know who started that? Actually, Reggie Miller started it back in the day.
You know, Reggie was that way.
Richard Hamilton, who's now used to be on the Detroit Pistons, was the absolute ridiculous one who did that. And now Tony picks it up and says, you know, if you're going to guard me on point, I'm going to wear your butt out. So if he goes to that kind of play, you don't want to wear out your star on him. I am done with the sports, man. I am so sorry I didn't have my game on today. That's okay. I'm going to be better tomorrow.
That's right, Victor Allen's New Sports. Be there tonight, watch the game, and then join us for the after party. Yeah.